YouTube, and welcome back to the second installment of my ghost story time. And this one is another good one. I hope you like it, and we shall get right into it. This is another real life paranormal thing that happened to me. This is another one. I wrote a list of like I remember so far, so there's gonna be a lot of videos because there's a lot. And this one is the one where, okay, story time, start now. Okay, so I say too much. Let's see, where shall we begin? I worked at a prison. I'm not gonna say where, so you don't, because you can look up officer information. Worked as a security guard at a prison. Sorry, my hair is my face. And at this prison, there's a lot of people that told me their ghost stories because they've had things. And as you can imagine, a prison will have a lot of ghost stories because, as you can imagine, there are a lot of people that die in prison. Not only, well, it used to be, of course, when, executions, but now more so of old age or sickness or whatever. I mean, sorry, they have hair. They are treated, there's medical facilities in prisons. I wouldn't say they're the best, but I'm not going to go because it's all sorts of politics. I could tell you a whole book since I worked there. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people tend to die in prison, old age, sickness, just diseases they've already had when they went in, just all sorts of things. Long sentences in their from old age and just being in there for so long. And working at a prison, you tend to see things once in a while, as I did. About a prison. If you work at a prison, then you know what wings are with the cell blocks, and you may have been there yourself. I won't judge, but you know what a wing is when, with all the cell doors, the 3 stories high, of cells going all the way up. And if you've seen The Walking Dead, you've seen inside of a prison also. So, but if you haven't, I'll try to explain. Each prison has many wings with hundreds of cells throughout each wing. Some two, somewhat, depends on what prison you're at. I worked at one where there's like 3,000 plus prisoners, so prisoners. And there's a main cage that the one officer works in, prison guard, and they are in there to assist each guard that's on each side, each wing on this side of the main cage. And this side is all levels of cells, and on this side is 1, 2, 3 levels of cells going from the front all the way back, all the way up. And 2 things happened to me. Well, another thing that's happened to me that'll be in another video. It had something to do with something else though. But these 2 things, one thing would occur off and on occasionally. In the main cage, you've got the 3 tiers that you have the officer on each side, so you can, when they say roll the doors, they press a button, and all the doors on each level will roll open, and then you say roll them again, they'll roll closed, and they have to go up each level with you and press that to open and close the doors. And when you're putting your prisoners back in their cells for the night or what may be, because they come in and out of the cells a lot during the day and night, they each stand all the way down, in one, or each prisoner in front of their cell, or each two in front of their cell, because there's usually two. At this prison I worked at, 2 prisoners per cell. They all stand. You can look down the run. Prisoners lined up, but facing their cell doors. So you're seeing this side of them, like this, you know, a side view when you look down all the way down the runs. And well, I'll tell you the other thing that happened several times to me. The main cage, and this is when I've worked in the main cages before too. Each level that you're walking up, the stairs and the tiers themselves that you're on, it's just like bars, like you're so you can see all the way up and all the way down throughout all of them. So there's, if you're kind of afraid of heights, then that's not the job for you. So you can see, it's usually one officer, two, one for each side, sometimes just one for each, but for both officers. Sometimes I had worked by myself, and if an officer is up on those other rungs, up, you know, their shadow, you know, as they're up there and moving around, and it falls down on you, you know, like this, you can see the shadow of my hand, you know, like if they're up there on that rung, you can see it, you know, the shadows moving around from them underneath, you know, from underneath them. Several times this happened to me, that I've been working by myself in those cages, and I've seen shadows of people up there, and I look up and there's no one up there, either tier, you know, the level I'm on, or second or third, and there's been nobody up there. And that, you know, it's a little spooky, you know, you've seen shadows of somebody up there, but there's nobody up there walking around, and you know, when you're this far deep inside of a prison, you're far away from windows, so there's no way you could see other people's shadows from way up there, you know, coming down on you. So, you know, I've seen that several times. And the last part, this is the main thing that I saw one time, because when I rolled the doors and I put all my prisoners in the day room where there's chairs and tables and a TV, and they can sit in there and relax and do whatever, and it's basically me, it's on the wing that you're on, but it's not down the run of cells, it's right behind you. So there's like 50, 60 or more inmates in there, and you know, you would make sure that they're all out of their cells, you know, or the ones that are, you know, and in the day room, or if they didn't want to come out for the day room, then they're in their cells. So you actually never, unless they're lined up to go to lunch or out to shower, gym or whatever like that, you don't usually have inmates on the run with you, you know, any of the runs. It's usually just you. So you're not actually, you know, you're locked in the wing with the prisoners, but you're not with the prisoner. You're by yourself, because they're all locked in the day room or locked in their cells. Okay, so this thing that happened to me, I was standing there up by the cage, and I happened to, all my inmates were in the day room, and I happened to look down. I looked down there, and I see a prisoner standing there, like halfway down. So I forget how many cell doors are all the way down like this, 50, 60, 30, halfway down the doors. There was an inmate standing there waiting to go in, and he was just facing, you know, his door so he could go in. And I was like, I lost, there was a prisoner out. So it kind of scared me. So I looked, and I turned, and I started to go down that run, and I started to say, "What are you doing out here?" As I started to say that, he went into his cell. I mean, he just like floated forward into his cell. As I was going down to tell him he's not supposed to be out by himself, There's no way that he could be unless I released him out of there or whatever. So yeah, he went. It's like I'm facing you and you're the cell, and I'm outside of the cell door, and here's the door. He just stood there and like solemnly, no emotion, just, and went right into a cell just like that. And he didn't walk. I didn't see any legs moving. It just went forward. And I was like, okay. That was a ghost I just saw. So yeah, that was my story for this episode. I hope you like it. And that was kind of creepy when all by himself there standing waiting to go in, and he just went in on his own into a cell. And it creeped me out a little bit, but you get over it because you're at work and you have to work and stuff. So, but I checked that one off that I saw throughout my life. So yeah, it was full-fledged there, because I turned and saw him. He was standing there, and I started to walk down that way to tell him, what are you doing? And he just went right into a cell, and I was like, I guess I don't have to tell him anything. So yeah, I hope you like this episode, and I shall hopefully it won't be too long before another one. And hope you love this my real life ghost stories for my ghost story. Love you all. I will see you later. Please like and subscribe if you want. You don't have to. And yeah, we'll see you later.